Welcome back to another board game tier list. This time we have the Marvel Zombies Hero Mode Bystanders. So S is going to be the ones that are most helpful for us. F is either least helpful or just straight up bad for us. So I don't think we're going to really consider the fact that it's a combat bystander or not. I honestly forget about that rule most of the time, which just hurts me, so it doesn't matter too much. But let's just go from the top. Once during Abigail Brand, once during your turn, you may spend 1 power to automatically eliminate a walker or runner within range 1. That's a pretty solid ability that everyone can benefit from. So I think we're going to put that in A tier. Mystique, this is the worst one. So instead of getting a bystander, Mystique spawn this zombie hero and immediately activate her. When Mystique is eliminated, spawn a bystander on the closest spawn point, which is also horrible. So obviously she'd be F, but she's so cool. I'm so glad she's in the game. Awesome piece. And if I remember correctly, I don't think Mystique is in this deck. I'll have to remember to see if she's in both this and that. We'll have to see. J. Jonah Jameson, if enemies spawn within range 2 before any rush, you may spend 1 power to move 1 zone, ignoring enemies, which I think is really cool. It's kind of thematic how he gets the news before everybody else does and gets to twist it any way he wants. But honestly, I don't think it's that good. It can be helpful, but I really don't think it's that good, so it's going to go to C tier. Senator Kelly, once during your turn, you may spend 1 power to select 1 zone within range 2. Activate all enemies in that zone. They try to reach your zone by any means available. This one can be more helpful because you can do it on your turn. I think we'll put this one in B. Mary Jane, after attacking, you may spend 1 power to reroll all dice once. This one's pretty bad as well. This one's going to go in C tier due to you need to spend a power and you reroll all dice, not just your misses. Pretty bad. Blind Al, each time you would be wounded, you may spend 1 power to roll 1 die on a 3+, negate that wound. I think this one is S tier. It's expensive to do it all the time, but a 3+ means you're probably going to ignore the wound, and if I remember correctly, there's some characters that benefit from taking damage. Slash it would just be amazing with a tanky character. So, goes there. Valerie Cooper, each time you power up, gain 1 extra power. That's really good. It's just really good. This one's going to go to A tier as well. Dum Dum Dugan, each time you power up, 1 superhero within range 1 gains 1 power. This one's not massively helpful, but I do think it belongs in B tier. It's solid. Flash Thompson, each time a rush or extra activation spawn card is revealed, before resolving it, you may perform 1 free move action. I guess this is just better than that. I guess this could be better situationally, but in general, Flash Thompson's better, so we'll do that. Karen Page, good old Daredevil character. During your turn, discard this card to gain any discarded heroic trait card. I don't love that by any means. It can be really helpful. You could get Courageous or something that lets you heal, but in general, we're going to put that in C tier. It's a one-time effect that's not that helpful. Alicia Masters, once during your turn, you may spend 1 less power to use any skill. That is really, really, really good. We're going to put that... We're going to put it in A tier. Maybe we'll adjust that one up to S tier at the end, depending. Harry Osborn, each time you use a heroic trait, 1 other superhero within range 2 gains 1 power. That's a weird one. And I really don't feel like that many people use heroic traits. Yeah, I just don't feel like it does enough. That one's going to go with C tier. Too late. Instead of spawning a bystander card, draw a spawn card for this zone. Another one that's just very bad for you. F tier. bulky. Once during your turn, you may spend 1 power to perform 1 free melee attack. So, here's the first one of the ones that only have to do with either melee or ranged. My understanding is that if your character has 0 to 1 range, every single attack that they perform is a ranged attack. Maybe that's not true, and if they are performing an attack at range 0, then it's still a melee attack. I probably should look that one up because we've just been playing the Grim rule where it's always worse for us. But because of that, these only affect half of the characters each. So the best that they can theoretically do, in my opinion, is B tier. And this one is good. Lets you do an attack for 1 power. So if you have a melee character, it would be better than B. But we'll just put it in B for now. Thunderbolt Ross. Once during your turn, you may spend 1 power to push all enemies in your zone to an adjacent zone. This one is going to go to A tier. This is immensely helpful at helping you escape, / getting people away from your zone and possibly into someone else's zone. Vanessa Fisk. You do not lose power or heroic traits when other bystanders are devoured once per game during your turn. Gain 4 power. This one I just consider to be awesome as well. This one's going to go to S tier. I love the once per game effect here, and if you get into a bad spot, this is a character that, or bystander, that makes it so that you don't suffer as much as the rest of your teammates, which works very well for Fisk. Shanna. When performing a melee attack, you may spend 1 power to have all enemies suffer -1 toughness. This one's another good one, but again, only affects melee people as far as I know. Amanda Sefton. After enemies spawn within range 1, performing rush, you may spend 1 power to move 1 zone, ignoring enemies. It's another one that's going to go in C tier. Happy Hogan. When performing range attacks, you may spend 1 power to gain +1 range. I just hate this one, and it's actually not even helpful for melee characters. So this one's going to go F tier. This is our, sorry, Happy. This is our first actual bystander to be F. Bolivar Trask. Once during your turn, you may spend 1 power to allow 1 other superhero within range 2 to perform 1 free action, then resume your turn. This one's good. I'd say middle of the road, just belongs in B. Aunt May, during your turn, you may spend 1 power and discard this card to heal 1 of your wounds. The fact you have to discard it is pretty rough. Especially because you can just have your bystander get devoured. You have the negative effects that she cancels. But you can have your bystander get devoured instead of taking 1 damage. So this just doesn't feel that much better to me. Kazar. Honestly, with that in mind, I think I'm actually going to move Aunt May down to C tier. She just is very ineffective for what you need to do. Kazar, once during each enemy phase, if enemies move into your zone, you may spend 1 power to perform 1 melee attack. This one can be very helpful, so because of that, we'll leave it in B. Nick Fury. Once during your turn, you may have 1 other superhero within range 2 gain 1 power and perform 1 free move action. This one's incredible. Nick Fury is probably the best bystander in the game. He's just so good. Bob, Agent of Hydra. When performing range attacks, you may spend 1 power to have all enemies suffer -1 toughness. This one's going to be the same logic as Shauna. Wong, after performing a melee attack, you may spend 1 power to reroll any misses. Yeah, we'll put this one in B as well. And then Maria Hill, once during your turn, you may spend 1 power to automatically eliminate 1 brute within range 1. That's actually pretty good. But it has to be against brutes. And there's not that many brutes in the game. I think we'll No, I think we'll put that in A, because it's even better than Abigail Brand's thing if you can actually maximize it. So we'll go with it. Moira McTaggart. During your turn, you may discard this card, no penalties, to have one superhero in your zone gain 4 power. That's very solid as well. It's a one-time use thing, but the 4 power is very beneficial. And also, it's always good to just get bystanders in the first place, because then you fill up your power immediately. Gwen Stacy. Each time you draw a heroic trait, gain 1 power. This one's actually really good because theoretically, instead of powering up, you just draw heroic traits instead, and then you get half of the amount of power you would get. So Gwen goes there. Mariko Yoshida. When performing melee attacks, you may automatically eliminate 1 additional walker in your zone. I know that this one would theoretically be higher, but you have to be doing a melee attack and have walkers in your zone for this to matter. So unfortunately, she's going to go down to C tier. Agatha Harkness. When a spawn card is revealed, you may discard this card, no penalties, to draw another spawn card and choose which to resolve, discarding the other. This is one great way to make sure the Sentinels don't come out, or maybe make sure you don't lose the game with the next card that's going to kill you, essentially. Because of its very good effect when it can be helpful, it's going to go to A tier. Although, unfortunately, it's a one-time use, so it's something you just have to hold for a long time until it matters. Howard the Duck. Once per round, you may spend 1 power to ignore 1 wound you would suffer. That's solid. That's solid. I think we'll actually put that one in S tier. Yeah, there's certain people that would just be phenomenal with, and in general, it's always going to be helpful. You only use it once per round, but still very good. Callisto, when attacking, you may ignore target priority. Yeah, this one just belongs in B. That's helpful. Often it's worth following target priority, so this will only slightly help you. Happy Hogan, another version. Once during your turn, you may spend 1 power to push all enemies in your zone to an adjacent zone. This is the same as Thunderbolt Ross's, so it will also be B. Trish Tilby. When drawing heroic trait cards, you draw 1 extra trait and select 1, discarding the other. Yeah, this one is pretty solid. I don't think we're gonna put this one in A tier. I do think we'll put this one in B tier though, because I should have made a little bit more space. Okay, and then Jimmy Woo. During your turn, you may spend 1 power and discard this card to search your heroic trait deck for 1 card, then shuffle the deck. This one's pretty solid. Again, it's only a one-time use thing, but you get whatever you want, and you search the deck. I think that there was another one of these that let you search the discarded cards. Yeah. But obviously the deck in general will be bigger than the discarded cards. So because of that, this one's going to go to B tier. This is essentially one you would only use in a time of dire need, but that'll probably come eventually. When you're moving, you may spend 1 power to move 1 extra zone. Yeah, unfortunately, I think we're going to put Betty Ross down in C tier. Sharon Carter, after performing a ranged attack, you may spend 1 power to reroll any misses. That can be helpful. So we'll just put that one in B. Same logic as Wong. William Stryker, once during your turn, you may spend 1 power to select 1 zone within range 1. Move any bystander superheroes from that zone into your zone, ignoring enemies. This one can actually move a ton of people, and because you can actually use it to move a ton of people, yeah, essentially if you all stay together, let's say you have 4 characters in 1 zone, you can spend the 1 power to move the other 3. So essentially this saves your team 3 actions if you're all moving in the same direction. So very solid. I think this is the same card we had before, so this one would be F as well. Pepper Pots. Once during your turn, you may spend 1 power to draw 1 heroic trait. Sure, we'll put it in B. Won't be too judgmental. Claire Temple. During your turn, you may discard 2 heroic traits to heal 1 wound from yourself or 1 superhero in your zone. Yeah, I really don't like that. I think you're trying to win the game, not lose it. So this one's going to go in C tier. Agent Colston, during your turn, you may spend 1 power to perform 1 free ranged attack. Yeah, this one's going to go in B tier as well. Same logic as Khazar. Foggy Nelson, when you rescue him, draw 1 heroic trait. Each time you suffer a wound, draw 1 heroic trait card. If this one goes to the right person, this is phenomenal. If it doesn't go to the right person, it's not phenomenal. So I think with that logic, we'll put this one over in A tier. Hopefully we can still see everything. Sorry about the tightness. Cosmo, each time you eliminate enemies, you may eliminate 1 additional walker in that zone. This one is going to go to A tier. It doesn't require you to do anything other than to kill things, and anyone can use it. So, very good. Last but not least, Ben Urich. Each time enemies move into a zone with a bystander or superhero, you may spend 1 power to perform 1 free move action. This is a weird one. I don't know that I would say this is very good. Because of that, I think we're going to put it in C tier. So, there's the tier list. Thank you for watching. As you can see, I know this is a little bit hard to tell. This is F, this is C, these are B, this is A, this is S. There's a few characters that are just so good. There's certain ones of these that can be maximized and they would be in S tier. But in general, I think this is a pretty accurate tier list. Thanks for watching.